Welcome to Swish and Flick, an all Potter podcast.
Swish and flick. Everyone? Swish and flick.
Hello and welcome to episode 46 of Swish and Flick. I'm Tiffany.
I'm Megan.
I'm Katie.
And they keep telling me I'm Sarah.
Your hair ass. We're going to change it.
What, my hair? Or my hands?
The hair, because don't you want to?
I don't know.
We're going to shave it.
Okay.
All right. Today we will be discussing Chapter 4 of Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, The Leaky Cauldron. So make sure that you have read the chapter and you're ready to go into the details. I need to say something other than dive.
You might also want to
Plummet.
tell everybody who this is sponsored by.
Yeah, you skipped that line.
Did I really?
Yep.
Yeah. This is just
She's pregnant.
I'm pregnant. Okay, so we're not going to plummet into details just
the
yet.
details.
We're going to tell you our sponsor, and it's Morgan Warner.
Yay! Thank you, Morgan.
Guys, I'm sorry. Ugh. All right, anyway, so now let's plummet into some details. But before that,
Social media.
social media stuffs.
So, everything about our podcast can be found at swishflickcast.com. You can find links to Patreon, to subscribe to us, our merchandise.
It's a Swish hub.
Yep. All of our episodes are posted there, all the good stuff. You can also find us directly on Facebook at Swish and Flick Podcast or on Twitter and Instagram at Swish Flick Cast. Subscribe to us on YouTube where all of our podcasts are posted as well as vlogs. And lastly, make sure that you join us on Patreon, which is patreon.com/swishflickcast. You can have access to our exclusive bi-monthly bonus episodes called The Felix Files, a chance to be a guest on The Felix Files. Right now we're working on some character analysis episodes.
Super deep.
Yes, multiple episodes per character, and we are going to assign one patron to a character as we go through them. And then also we have a live video chat every month on Zoom, monthly giveaways, and some live podcasts. Mm-hmm. So head on over to Patreon to pick your support level, and massive thank you and shout out to all of our current patrons.
Woo, 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 woo.
We couldn't do it without you. We couldn't do you. I can't talk. What is going
Does
on?
not bode well.
Couldn't do it without you.
Thank you.
Fozzie would like to let you know that he is also thankful. All right, what do you have for the weekly profit?
The weekly profit is that we are now on our third round of cast members for Cursed Child in London.
Crazy. Has
So-
it been 3 years?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Yep.
That's nuts.
That's crazy that it's been out that long.
So the third
Scorpius
West
is
End-
cute.
Yeah, he is.
Okay, I gotta click
The
it now.
third West End cast of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child started performances on May 23rd, and new people are Harry, which is Jamie Ballard, Ginny Potter, Susie Trailing, Albus is Joe Idris Roberts, and Scorpius is Jonathan Case. And then Nicola Alexis steps into the role of Hermione Granger. I believe that she was part of the second round, but she's just taking on a new role now. However,
her.
people continuing their roles are Ron, Thomas Aldridge, Rose Granger Weasley is Helen Aluko, and Draco Malfoy is James Howard.
And
So-
they're all from the second round?
Yep, those are
Got it.
people from the second round staying on for another.
Because most of
Ouch.
first round are in New York right now, right?
A lot of them.
I can't
A
stand
good chunk.
Malfoy's hair. I can't stand it.
I like the guy that plays Ron Weasley. He's very attractive.
I didn't see him. Is
Juan
he on
Juan.
this page?
If he's not Pottermore.
He's not on this page. Okay.
I cannot wait to see this play. I know we talk a lot of crap about the book, but I am super excited to see it visually because that's how it was meant to be seen.
Correct.
So, yes. Oh, yeah, you sent us that picture.
Oh, yeah,
He's
yeah.
cute.
Okay.
I like his sweater.
Is it sweater weather? Sweater weather.
In London, it's always sweater weather.
He kind of looks like Tiffany's friend a little bit.
Oh my god.
I don't have friends.
I also really like the girl that plays Hermione is very pretty. Not that this
she is.
matters. Not that it matters that I think these people are good looking.
Herm, you fine.
Herm, you fine.
I'm so fine. You blow my mind. Hey, Herb.
Hey, Herm.
All right. That brings us to the recap.
That was like a slow-mo recap.
I'm tired. There's chocolate cookie on my water bottle.
Saving it for later. So last time, Harry took a ride on the night bus and learned more about the criminal at large, Sirius Black. He went to the Leaky Cauldron and ran into none other than the Minister of Magic himself, Cornelius Fudge. He thought he was going to be expelled, be sent to Azkaban, and he was shocked when Fudge said, "No harm done," and that he would be spending the remainder of his summer holiday in the Leaky Cauldron and Diagon Alley.
Diagon Alley.
Like, literally the best ending to summer vacation ever.
Honest to God, especially for Harry, like, he deserves it.
Does he?
Yes.
He's a pretty horrible person, I think.
Listen.
Katie deserves to go to Azkaban.
Well, righty room. So Harry spends his last few weeks of summer wandering around Diagon Alley. The last day before Hogwarts, Harry meets up with none other than Herm and Ron and the rest of the Weasleys. Hermione gains a new furry friend, and Harry gains some new knowledge that's going to affect his future this year at Hogwarts. It ends with Harry being defiant again, saying he won't be murdered.
Of course he won't be.
Not
Harry Potter.
Not this year.
I'm
Just wait a
Harry
few.
Potter. Harry Potter.
In the words of my good friend Bud, in regards to, you guys making fun of me. Guess. All right. I've titled the first part of this A Whole New World
I love it.
because it's not Harry's usual. So he has a strange new freedom, and it's like being a normal kid. And then when I thought about writing a normal kids aren't by themselves, doing all these
Yeah.
things. So it's like being normal plus a little extra awesome.
Harry's extra.
I would say he's living his best life.
Harry is so extra.
You're extra right now. He gets to eat breakfast at the Leaky Cauldron, and he gets to Wizard Watch, which is like People Watch, but it's Wizard Watching.
But better.
But
And in his Wizard Watching, he spots a hag, and I was like,
Don't call me that. That's really rude, Tiffany.
"What did
I do to you today?
Well, you were sitting there eating at the Leaky Cauldron, so. And so I looked it up. I couldn't find anything on Pottermore about hags, but it says on the wiki that a hag is a savage being that looks like an ugly old witch, but has more warts. First of all,
Rude.
well, witches don't have to have warts. I think
That's very stereotypical.
that all of the
Very Salem.
Yeah. But it says they possess rudimentary magic similar to that of a troll. Little is known of them, though it is thought that they are what muggles think witches are, and therefore popular in muggle literature. So I don't know. I don't know where that's...
It makes me think of, is it Sleeping Beauty when she makes
Turns-
herself look ugly to give her the apple?
Yeah.
That's what I think of when I think of a hag. Or I
think
should say,
that's
like what you're
appropriate.
describing.
Well, that the picture that they have on this
is
is...
that a picture of her?
It's got a bunch of like super long nose, long chin, and warty. It also says in the 14th century, hags were gliding about in search of children to eat. At Burdock Muldoon's failed meeting of the Wizards' Council. I don't know what that means, but Quirrell is supposedly had like a nasty bit of trouble with a hag sometime during his little tour where he eventually met up with Voldemort. Sometime in or before 1992, Gilderoy Lockhart published a book called Holidays with Hags. Whether the book was one of Lockhart's fictions, in case it would be useless, or one of the stories that he stole from someone and used a memory charm is unknown. So we don't know if he made up all the information or he actually got it from someone. And then it says here, in 1993, Harry Potter thought he saw a hag ordering a plate of raw liver from behind a thick baklava. So,
Blah. Liver.
yep.
My grandfather used to love to eat that. He said they both of them did.
So they are classified as beings and not beasts. So Little information on the old hag there. Harry spends his days in Diagon Alley exploring shops, eating, listening to people, and I said that this is exactly what I would do.
Yeah.
I would love to like chill and just like sit in the alley and just wizard watch people.
That's what me and Meg
Or
love to do.
witch watch.
At the Wizarding World, legitimately.
Yeah.
Sit in Diagon Alley with a butterbeer and just,
Just sit
yeah.
and take it in.
I would go to Florian's, have some ice
Yep,
cream,
yep, yep.
and
Yes.
eat some ice cream while people watch. But I'd make sure to have good people watching glasses on so people don't know I'm staring at them.
Some sunnies.
Yeah.
Some nice sunnies. So I wanted to read a little bit from the chapter about Harry's time in Diagon Alley. It said, once Harry had refilled his money bag with gold galleons, silver sickles, and bronze nuts from his vault at Gringotts, he had to exercise a lot of self-control not to spend the whole lot at once. He had to keep reminding himself that he had 5 years to go at Hogwarts and how it would feel to ask the Dursleys for money for spell books. And he also had to stop himself from buying a handsome set of solid gold gobstones, which was a wizarding game like marbles. He was sorely tempted, too, by the perfect moving model of the galaxy in a large glass ball, which would have meant he could like never have to take an astronomy lesson again. But the thing that tested his resolution to not spend all his money appeared in his favorite shop, which we met Oliver Wood in, Quality Quidditch Supplies. I don't know. Solid gold gobstone sounds awesome. I kind of want
Awesome, but unnecessary.
I just read a good question I could have asked for a previous episode.
Oh, that sucks. Save it.
I'll
Can you
ask
save
you.
it for this one?
Yeah.
Okay. Something in the alley caught his eye. The fastest broom in the world. And we hear that the Irish international team has put in an order for 7 brooms.
Don't they say that right around here that they're favored to win the Quidditch World Cup? And they do.
Oh.
You're welcome.
They do, but I was wondering if that was like this year's Quidditch World Cup.
It's a Quidditch World Cup every year.
I think so.
I don't think it is.
I don't think it is either.
It's like the Super Bowl. It's every year.
I don't think it is though.
Is the actual like soccer World Cup every year?
I'm pretty sure.
I don't know, look it up. I feel like I remember that from our Felix file.
I don't remember. Okay, but he sees an ad for a firebolt. Ooh. And the ad says, this state-of-the-art racing broom sports a streamlined, superfine handle of ash treated with a diamond hard polish and hand-numbered with its own registration number. Each individually selected birch twig in the broomtail has been honed to aerodynamic perfection, giving the firebolt unsurpassable balance and pinpoint precision. The firebolt has an acceleration of 150 miles an hour in 10 seconds and incorporates an unbreakable braking charm. Price on request.
It's every 4 years, the Quidditch World Cup.
That's what I thought. I thought it was probably similar to this soccer.
It's a lot of games in 4 years.
Yeah. You got to win a lot to make it.
Does anybody have any guesses as to how much they think the firebolt costs?
that too. I have no idea. How much is a wand?
Isn't that
7.
Oh, I thought it was like 30 galleons.
I thought it was like 11.
20.
Do we
know
run a
Harry
podcast?
Well, I
much
found some
does a wand
articles. How many galleons?
I don't know, but I wrote in the notes, probs a lot. It's probably a lot.
This is
People
telling me
guessed
$25
7.
or
Oh,
you're right.
$48.
7 galleons for a wand.
Why was I thinking 20? Gosh, Tiffany.
So it says here, let's put some things into context. So 1 galleon is 17 sickles or 29 knuts, as Jim Dale says.
No, Jim Dale.
Silver unicorn horns cost 21 galleons each. A wand is 7 galleons. The Weasley Vault in Gringotts has 1 galleon and some sickles.
Jeez.
Fred and George's life savings was 37 galleons, 15 sickles, and 3 knuts.
Don't say knuts.
Tri-Wizard Cup winnings was 1,000 galleons.
Okay. So I'm gonna.
So
put
we're
it-
just trying to like put into perspective here, like how much we think it would cost. So it says
How much did we ever find out how much the Nimbus 2000 was?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
It says that we know that it for sure costs at least 200 galleons. I don't know why they say that, but
How do you know for sure? At least, you know.
this person says I'm willing to say it will cost less than 1,000 galleons because it will probably be less than the prize money won from the Tri-Wizard Cup, as that's a pretty big deal.
I say 500.
But it says here now 200 to 1,000 is a pretty big range. So let's consider these omnoculars. Harry bought 3 of them, which means he had 30 galleons at the time of the Quidditch World Cup. So it seems like 30 galleons is a reasonable amount to have for Harry at any given moment. Unless, of course, he took some more money than usual, as it is the World Cup, which is quite possible. Harry also told Ron and Hermione not to expect Christmas gifts for 10 years when he bought them. I'm sure he was exaggerating, but it still goes to say it seems that 10 galleons is quite a lot to spend. Based on this, they're guessing that the firebolt would cost a little less than 1,000 galleons, so approximately between 600 to 800.
I was going to guess 800.
So Sirius buys him the firebolt, correct?
Yeah.
How does he get that money?
He's
He's from a
black
rich
family.
But,
family.
like, wouldn't they know he's taking money out?
Yeah, I
we
always
got out
wondered
of
that, too.
Azkaban. Can get into Gringotts.
But can anyone withdraw
think
from
that
your
he
account?
ordered
I
it-
mean,
I think that what he said is he ordered it by owl.
Through Crookshanks, right? Oh, I thought
I think
Crookshanks helped him.
Crookshanks did do something.
I thought Crookshanks helped him.
No, I think he did.
I think
Did I say it like that?
A little bit.
Oh,
I think that Crookshanks like got the message to.
the owlery.
I think Hedwig took the order or something. I don't know, but he sent it in by owl post, and he requested that the money be taken out of the Black family vault.
Who wouldn't question that?
Right.
Stinking goblins.
They don't care.
They just don't care. Okay.
They just want the money.
I guess so. So during his...
So I think that's a good guess. Sorry, 800, 600 to 800.
Okay.
That's a lot.
There's a lot. During his back-to-school shopping experience, Harry buys new robes, new potion ingredients, and new books. In Flourish and Blots, the Monster Book of Monsters copies are going crazy and attacking each other. The salesman has been bitten 5 times that day alone. And he tells Harry of the time that they ordered 200 copies... Katie, you're killing me. Of the Invisible Book of Invisibility, and they have never found them. So, needless to say, the salesperson is super relieved that he doesn't have to get Harry a monster book out because he's sick of getting bit. Harry also needs the book Unfogging the Future by Cassandra. How do you say this? Vablatsky?
Yeah.
Vablatsky. So I looked her up because I knew like Sybil Trelawney has like a Cassandra in her family, but the last name is not Vablatsky. But
Well,
this,
nice try.
But this person on the wiki, it says 1894 to 1997 was a celebrated seer and the author of Unfogging the Future, a divination textbook required at Hogwarts. The name Cassandra means oracle in Greek mythology. Cassandra means she who entangles men. And she was the daughter of King Priam and Queen Hecuba. Apollo, god of archery and poetry, as well as oracles. I don't like how this is written. It says they fell in love for her beauty and gave her the gift of prophecy. However, when she did not return his love, Apollo placed a curse on her so that no one would believe her predictions and her visions would only bring tragic events yet to come.
I
And
thought that
think
she
you-
was related to Trelawney.
This one?
It doesn't say that she is anywhere.
Well, on Pottermore, if you look up Trelawney, it says that she is the great-great-granddaughter of seer Cassandra Trelawney. So I believe that that's probably where Joe pulled all of this business. It says Vablatsky's death date was given on a famous wizard card in the video game adaptation of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, which takes place in 91 to 92. Her death date is given as 6 years later. Could be a reference to the seer's skills, given that she would have predicted her own death.
So on the Wikia, when you're reading about Cassandra, I think they're writing about the one in Greek mythology, so not this specific Cassandra.
Right.
So she might be like, they kind of pulled it, she might be related to that one. That Cassandra in Greek mythology that Apollo loved or whatever.
I like it.
Maybe the Trelawney is her married name.
It could be. It
Meg
could
pulled that up.
be. So I like that, though.
Oh, no.
I mean, it's just cool. Joe's cool. I like it. Harry also spots a fortune-telling book called Death Omens, and it has a large black dog on the front. And the shopkeeper says, reading it would be enough to, quote, frighten you to death.
Do you think that Sirius's Animagus is a death omen of his own?
No. I just think it's a dog.
But I mean, like, he kind of does turn into a grim-looking thing, and he
Is
does
his-
die early.
Is his animagus
Dude,
actually a
everybody's
grim?
gonna
Not
Maybe
a dog.
his Animagus isn't actually. Yeah. Wait, what?
I said, well, everybody's going to die, so...
Well, yeah, but he dies early.
They all die early.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
That was a true accident.
But they do. Like, who does, like,
All of them do.
Voldemort's, determined to live forever, and he
But
dies a
Voldemort's,
lot
like-
younger than everybody else.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but he's
he's
still, like, in his 70s.
Yeah, but wizards live.
for, like, how old was
No, I
Dumbledore
know,
when he
but
died?
I'm just
100
saying,
and
like,
something.
Sirius is in his 30s. I mean,
I can't look
Okay,
at
his
you
friends were in the
seriously.
20s.
Meg has a blanket over her head.
Because you have a little bump from your hair.
I will say that I took a abnormal psychology class once, and
Yeah.
you read that book, you think you have everything that's wrong with, like, everything
Oh,
in
I'm
that
sure.
book. You're like, oh my God, I have all these symptoms.
Yeah. I bet. That's why I don't like reading crap like that. Like, that's why I don't go on, like, WebMD, because then you think
Yeah.
that you're going to die.
Yeah.
Harry also needed Intermediate Transfiguration and Standard Book of Spells, grade 3. And my little section ends with Harry back up in his room. Somebody's been in there to tidy up, and the windows are open, and the sun's pouring inside. And it's just, I don't know. He's feeling a little weird. So he says to himself, "It can't have been a death omen," he told his reflection defiantly. So he's looking in the mirror. "I was panicking when I saw that thing in Magnolia Crescent. It was probably just a stray dog." He raised his hand automatically and tried to make his hair lie flat. "You're fighting a losing battle there, dear," said his mirror in a wheezy voice. I want a mirror that talks to me. Mm-hmm. Nicely.
Yeah, don't be mean.
I don't want, like, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest? Just want, like, a nice one.
I want a complimenting mirror.
Yes. Complimentary mirror, please. I see green.
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 So, it is finally the last day of the holiday. Harry's gotten all of his stuff. He's just kind of chilling in Diagon Alley every day. And he got up with plans to go and see the Firebolt one last time before Hogwarts.
I love that he, like, goes and looks at it.
I know.
He would, like, go and visit it every day.
The ultimate window shopper.
And
He can afford it, though. I think it's funny. He's, like, such a little, like, warrior about all his money. Because these
Yeah.
guys...
He doesn't need it.
Yeah, I like
point in
how
time.
his thoughts are actually like, but I have a properly good broom that has never failed me, so I don't need it. That's amazing.
yeah, but, like, honestly, how many 13-year-olds are really going to be like,
I know.
I don't need this?
That's extreme
think-
self-control.
I think he just thinks so hard that, like, I do not want to be asking the Dursleys for money. So
Right.
I'm going to be pretty
Yeah.
tight with my money.
yeah.
Also, I did a conversion, and if it did cost 800 galleons, it would be like $3,900.
Whew.
So that's a lot, but like, could be worse.
Yeah.
Could be.
So he is on his way to Quality Quidditch Supplies when Ron yells out his name, and Ron and Hermione are sitting outside
Herm!
Florian Fortescue's eating some ice cream after they had gotten most of their school supplies for the year. It says that Ron is very freckly, which I'm assuming is probably from the sun in Egypt.
Yep.
And Hermione is very brown from Holiday. I think she went to France, didn't she?
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
she went to like the islandy areas of France.
I mean, France is also could be just be sunny. I know,
Yeah,
I
but
get sunburned if I'm in the sun, no matter where I am.
I've gotten sunburnt in January before in Ohio.
Skiing. Skiing.
Yeah.
We got some sun.
well, I'm just saying I would want to go to the islandy areas.
Well, yeah.
So they knew that he was staying at the Leaky Cauldron because of Mr. Weasley. He found out through the ministry. And Hermione,
Herm!
of course, first thing goes to scold Harry about blowing up his Aunt Marge, which is typical Herm. And then Ron, of course, laughs at this, but Herm tells him that it's not funny and that she is amazed that Harry was not expelled. And
Well, truthfully, so was he.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially because they know about the magic that he was blamed for from Dobby.
Right. Yeah. So then they are both staying at the Leaky Cauldron as well. So I wanted to talk about Ron's new wand. He got a brand new wand, 14 inches.
That's larger than
wait.
mine.
What's yours? 13?
I think we're 12.
Willow contains 1 unicorn tail hair.
That drives me nuts that he says one. Like, I don't think they use multiple unicorn hairs.
Yeah, that was weird.
What if someone had 4?
I don't know.
Would they be extra magical?
I don't know. Ask Ollivander.
Dear.
So I wanted to talk about like the descriptors of the wand a little bit, just to, like for some recap. So it says most wands.
Some what?
Recap. Most wands range between 9 and 14 inches, so his is like at the threshold of like being pretty long. Though there are some that are longer.
Hagrid's is 16?
Yeah, I think so.
And I do think that like maybe he got 14 inches because he is known to be tall. So
Mine matches my height, that's for sure.
it says physical peculiarity can demand excessive wand length, such as Hagrid. Yep. Okay, that's enough of that. So
Hey, Sarah, when you do your tattoo, can you please get it 16 inches?
That'd be a hard no. And we never know. I might not get it.
So his wood is willow, which is uncommon. It has healing power. Also, this is the same wood as Lily. Just saying. Ollivander notes that the ideal owner for a willow wand often has some insecurity, which totally fits Ron. However, while they may try to hide it. While many confident customers insist on trying a willow wand, my willow wands have consistently selected those of greatest potential rather than those who feel they have little to learn. It has always been a proverb in my family that he who has furthest to travel will go fastest with willow.
I like
think
that for Ron.
That fits Ron very well.
He does have a long way to travel.
Yeah.
And he does come into himself, but it does take him.
So I think everybody's like definition of long way to travel probably varies on who they are. Like I'm thinking of Lily and like how she's coming from the Muggle world and she's coming from like a sister who obviously is very upset by it, but parents that are supportive. She's got Snape as a friend. Like she's got a long way to travel to kind of
She's
like figure out
hurdles.
who she is.
Right.
Ron, on the other hand, has a long way to travel as far as like
His confidence.
his confidence, his jealousy issues, like all of those things. Like his road is long.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's quite curvy road.
I like it a lot.
So unicorn hair generally produces the most consistent magic and is less subject to fluctuations and blockages, which he has definitely needed after his first 2 years with that other wand. They're generally the most difficult to turn to the dark arts, and they are the most faithful. Usually remain strongly attached to their first owner, irrespective of whether he or she was an accomplished witch or wizard. Minor disadvantages are that they do not necessarily make the most powerful wands, although wand wood can compensate that. And they are prone to melancholy if seriously mishandled, demanding that the hair may die and need replacing.
Jeez.
Which also, poor Ron had to use a wand that, one, wasn't his own, and two, the unicorn hair was poking out of it. So it was probably losing a little bit of
A little bit
magical
of life.
It was
ability.
getting sad.
Yeah. So we also, after hearing about Ron's wand, get to hear about all of Hermione's subjects. So she is taking arithmancy, care of magical creatures, divination, study of ancient runes, and Muggle studies.
Why does she feel the need to add Muggle studies?
So
See, I would do the same thing.
she
I would
answers.
too.
Ron says, "What are you doing Muggle studies for?" said Ron, rolling his eyes at Harry. "You're Muggle-born. Your mom and dad are Muggles. You already know all about Muggles." And then she responds, "But it'll be fascinating to study them from the wizarding point of view," said Hermione earnestly.
I agree.
Yeah, but like, so what other classes are offered, like, going forward? Like, couldn't she have done that, like, a different year so she wasn't stretched so thin?
Maybe
I
you
don't know.
can't jump into it like later on,
She does
So what
end
is-
up dropping
what is
Muggle studies.
She drops Muggle studies
at
Is
the
that
end
the
of the
only
year.
one?
I mean, she completes it this year, but she doesn't take it fourth year.
And she loses divination.
Divination.
Lose. She bounces. Bye.
You're right.
But then she keeps arithmancy, care of magical creatures, and ancient runes.
No.
But apparently that's enough to not need the time turner anymore.
What's a time turner?
Spoiler.
I don't know. We'll find out.
Okay.
Okay. So then Hermione says, after ignoring their little sniggery jokes about how she's not going to eat or sleep all year,
True.
she says, "I've still got 10 galleons." Her mom and dad gave her some extra money because her birthday is in September.
September 19th.
So she decided that she wanted a pet. And she originally says that she wants an owl because she thinks that they're very resourceful. She can use them to send letters. She is jealous that Ron has Errol, and he's like, don't be jealous over that.
Poor little Errol. He needs to retire.
Yeah. So I was going to read the little description of the magical menagerie.
But you don't have it up.
Errol needs to go to a farm upstate.
Why can't you let him
I'm just saying relax there.
Says there wasn't much room inside. Every inch of wall was hidden by cages. It was smelly and very noisy because of the occupants of these cages. Because the occupants of these cages were all squeaking, squawking, jabbering, and hissing. And then it also goes on to say a pair of enormous purple toads sat gulping wetly and feasting on dead blowflies.
It's a blowfly.
I don't know. Someone want to look that up while I read? A gigantic tortoise with a jewel-encrusted shell was glittering near the window. Poisonous orange snails were oozing slowly up the side of their glass tank, and a fat white rabbit kept changing into a silk top hat and back again with a loud popping noise. Then there were cats of every color. And just so everybody knows, the Wizarding World makes a cat of every color in the Magical Menagerie. and
Every color.
I have it. Well,
Every
it's
color.
purple and brown and white, and I think that's it. But it's really cute.
Blowflies look like regular flies.
Oh, okay. Are they those big fat ones like horseflies? Those are the worst.
I don't know.
A noisy cage of ravens, a basket of funny custard-colored fur balls that were humming loudly, and
Are
on
those
the,
pygmy puffs?
maybe. And on the counter,
Custard
a vast
color, though?
cage of sleek black rats that were playing some sort of skipping game using their long bald tails.
I
Ugh.
like those rats.
Makes me want to vomit. I'm not a fan
Oh,
of
rats are so cool.
No.
Except scabbers.
Yeah, so speaking of scabbers, Ron and Harry agree to come to the Magical Menagerie with Hermione because Scabbers is looking a bit off color ever since they brought him back from Egypt. Specifically,
Enjoy
back
that
from
vacation.
Egypt. So what happened while they were in Egypt? Everybody knows Sirius Black escaped.
What?
So
But why would a rat have to worry about
I don't know.
a human prisoner?
So the lady tries to convince Ron to just get another rat, which I think is kind of sad. Like,
It is sad.
dude, don't make him get another rat. He wants his rat. Just leave him alone. So she gives him some rat tonic. And it does say here, the witch's eyes moved from Scabbers' tattered left ear to his front paw, which had a missing toe.
What?
Huh. Odd.
What are toes?
He's been through the mill. This
And it
one.
says Ron doesn't know how old he is. He says, quite old. He used to belong to my brother. What powers does he have?
being a dude.
The worst.
Because it says here, ordinary ordinary common or garden rats like this shouldn't be expected to live longer than 3 years or so. However, it's much longer than that. But then we see already Crookshanks here is like trying to attack Scabbers.
She knows what's up.
Yeah. And
Is Crookshanks a girl?
I don't know.
I think Crookshanks is a boy, isn't it?
Is
I
Crookshanks
thought so.
a boy?
I thought so.
Well, Crookshanks wants to kill Scabbers already.
Girl.
And of course, that is the cat that Hermione purchases. And she says, he's gorgeous, isn't he? As Ron calls him a monster.
Half Kneasel.
He didn't
Yeah.
mean to, did you, Crookshanks? I can like literally just like, that's my life, cat talk. So she adopts Crookshanks. Ba-dum-tsh. Oh, I said, and then Herm buys him.
Go Herm.
I don't care for you much.
So they head
Oh,
back.
it is a boy. What's my problem?
It's okay.
I'm pregnant.
I don't think he's offended.
Okay. Sorry, Crookshanks.
So the trio heads back to the Leaky Cauldron, and they find Mr. Weasley sitting at the bar reading the Daily Prophet. And I love how he greets Harry. Like, he's just, like, really happy, genuinely happy to see him, asks how he is. He treats him like a son, just like Mrs. Weasley does.
Yeah.
And Harry needs that. So the paper, as it has Sirius Black's face on it, which is it says the now familiar face.
I bet it's in the paper every single day.
Probably. And Ron wants to know if they would get a reward if they caught him, because it would be good to get some more money.
Money hungry now, guys.
And Mr. Weasley tells him not to be ridiculous because Black won't be caught by a 13-year-old wizard. The Azkaban or Azkaban guards would get him. Mrs. Weasley, Fred, George, Percy, and Ginny all come back from shopping. Poor Ginny. She's even more embarrassed than she normally is around Harry because he, like, kind of saved her life last year.
Just a little.
No big deal. And we get a glimpse at pompous Percy, who we find out
love alliteration.
we find out is head boy, and Mrs. Weasley is so proud. And Percy kind of like acts like he's never met Harry before and greets them all like, I don't know.
He's
very-
Top
training.
of the morning.
He's training to be a ministry
Yeah.
dude. He's got to be,
Fred and George can't resist this moment. So they go up to Harry and they're like, Harry, simply splendid to see you, old boy. Marvelous, absolutely spiffing.
spiffing.
And Mrs. Weasley tells them to stop it because they weren't prefixed this year. But George says that would take all the fun out of life.
True.
And he also says that they tried to shut Percy in a pyramid, but their mom caught them.
That's
So,
unfortunate.
Dude, I would flip out.
if you got stuck in a pyramid,
Flip
that'd be terrible.
out.
Especially with all those shrunken heads that they were talking about.
Yeah.
So they have dinner. They have to put 3 tables together.
That was
them all.
anger bells.
Stop.
I know. I told you guys there's something wrong with this bell, and you don't believe me.
Change your tone, man.
And they make their way through 5 delicious courses. And
What a
Mr.
5-course
Weasley.
dinner. What is that? What is 5 courses?
Well, there's an app.
There's an amuse-bouche appetizer.
What's an amuse-bouche?
It's like a mini.
A mini app.
Yeah. So, I think
So,
it's like,
app 1.
Then like a super salad,
and
probably.
there's hors d'oeuvres. Like there's amuse-bouche hors d'oeuvres.
Horse divorce.
Probably like a salad,
Salad.
the main, and then dessert. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's actually 5.
I don't know if
course.
I'd be able to eat.
But
a
like
lot.
a amuse-bouche
Teeny
is like
weeny?
very small.
Yeah, okay.
Mr. Weasley tells them how they're getting to King's Cross, and the Ministry is providing them cars. And he tries to play it off kind of casual, like, oh, since we don't have one anymore, it's cruising around wild in the Forbidden Forest. But Harry notes that his ears went red, much like Ron's do when he's under pressure. So, why do they need an escort?
Sirius Black.
But why? I mean, he could be after anyone, Meg.
It's true.
He's after Harry.
Who?
Get with the
Who's Harry?
program.
So they're talking about, they have cars and stuff. And then Arthur's like, yeah, are y'all like packed and stuff? Because we're leaving tomorrow. And Percy, of course, is like, I'm totally packed, but Ron's not.
Why does he got a tattle on him?
Because he's Percy. You want me a Coke?
There's one upstairs.
No, I drank it.
I literally was like, Percy has to be the snitch and say Ron isn't packed at all. But it's just like all of his new stuff isn't packed. It's all on Percy's bed. So after dinner, all of the kids eventually make their way upstairs to finish packing and go to bed. So Harry closes his door, and as he does, he hears angry voices in the room next to his, which is room number 12, where Ron and Percy are staying. So he goes outside to basically hear better.
He's such a snoop. I love it.
Yeah, I'd be the same way.
But, I'd totally do this.
I did this when I was in Vegas. People next to us were fighting.
Really?
Yeah, I had my ear to the door to listen to them.
I would do it too.
So the door's ajar, and he hears Percy yelling about his head boy badge. He had taken it off to polish it. He put it on the bedside table, and now it's gone. And he's basically blaming Ron for it. So Harry kind of goes in, and he's like, bros, what's wrong? And Ron is like, well, first he's like, yeah, he's got my badge. And then Ron's like, I'm trying to find my tonic for the rat. He's got to go downstairs. And Percy's like, no, you're not leaving here until we find my badge. Wah. And so Harry's like, I'll go downstairs and get it for you. Whatever. So he leaves to go downstairs. And while he's there, he hears another set of angry voices. And he recognizes them as Mr. and Mrs. Weasley. So he freezes because he doesn't want to hear his friend's parents fighting. But then he hears his name in the conversation. So he moves closer to hear them better. Which is how awkward is that? Hearing your friend's parents fight.
So he has morals, and then he's like, wait, never mind.
I mean, but I would do the same thing if I heard them
you hear
talking
your
about me.
name.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
hear your name for sure.
Why's my name coming out of your mouth?
All right. It says, makes no sense not to tell him, Mr. Weasley said heatingly. I can't read. Harry's got a right to know. I tried to tell Fudge, but he insists on treating Harry like a child. He's 13 years old, and Arthur, the truth would terrify him, said Mrs. Weasley shrilly. Do you really want to send Harry back to school with all that hanging over him? For heaven's sakes, he's happy not knowing. I don't want to make him miserable. I want him to put him on his guard, retorted Mr. Weasley. You know that Harry and Ron are wandering off by themselves. They've even ended up in the Forbidden Forest. But Harry mustn't do that this year. When I think what could have happened to him that night he ran away from home, if the night bus hadn't picked him up, I'm prepared to bet he would have been dead before the Ministry found him. But he's not dead. He's fine. So what's the point? Molly, they say Sirius Black's mad. And maybe he is, but he was clever enough to escape from Azkaban, and that's supposed to be impossible. It's been 3 weeks, and no one's seen hide nor hair of him, and I don't care what Fudge keeps telling the Daily Prophet. We're no nearer catching Black than inventing self-spelling wands. The only thing we know for sure is that Black's after... But Harry will be perfectly safe at Hogwarts. We thought Azkaban was perfectly safe. If Black can break out of Azkaban, he can break into Hogwarts. But no one's really sure that Black's after Harry. There was a thud on wood, and Harry was sure Mr. Weasley had banged his fist on the table. Molly, how many times do I have to tell you? They didn't report it in the press because Fudge wanted to keep it quiet. But Fudge went out to Azkaban the night Black escaped. The guards told Fudge that Black's been talking in his sleep for a while now. Always the same words. He's at Hogwarts. He's at Hogwarts. Black is deranged, Molly, and he wants Harry dead. If you ask me, he thinks murdering Harry will bring you-know-who back to power. Black lost everything the night Harry stopped you-know-who, and he had 12 years alone in Azkaban to brood on that. It's a lot of information.
Yeah.
12.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's crazy that, it's not, that you hear how worried they are about Harry, and he's he sounds like that's his son when he's what I would think if he had been killed. I worry about that, and it's now past. I hear my parents talk about stuff like that,
All these overheard conversations that Harry has this year are all
they're
devastating.
chocked full of information and not necessarily with the best news.
Well,
I think it's interesting to see the dynamic of Mr. and Mrs. Weasley too. Mrs. Weasley is the one who just kind of wants to not worry. She's worrying, but she wants to
doesn't want to
think
stir
it's
the
all
pot.
okay. Where Mr. Weasley's being a little more realistic with it. No, you need to wake up, basically, and realize that this is a serious threat.
And him being such a docile kind of personality to hear that he slams his fist on the table, he's
stressed.
He's really
He's real serious about serious.
It's interesting to see, because you see this in the later books, because in 5, when all this stuff is happening and Mr. Weasley's like, it's about him. He should hear this. Like, he should be
Yeah.
there. And Molly's like, I don't want him to see it. I don't want him to, like, he's still too young. And he's like, no, like, let him stay.
He should have stayed for the whole thing. In my humble
I
opinion.
agree.
But, like, it's
I mean, the whole war's about him.
Well, let's just say it's not only Dumbledore that's keeping things from Harry Potter.
well, and then it's also interesting to see, like, because, again, you see it later on with the press and Fudge. They're saying, like, he didn't report it because Fudge didn't want them to report it.
Hashtag Fudge is crooked.
And that happens in real life, you know?
All the time.
With the press
Let's just
and-
report what we want to report.
And not facts.
Yeah.
It's craziness.
Tis true.
So, he basically, after hearing all of that news, and Molly even goes on to say, but, like, he's going to be at Hogwarts. He's going to be with Albus. Like, that's the safest place for him. And literally, Dumbledore isn't going to let anything happen to Harry at Hogwarts, and he's not a happy clam with those Dementors stationing themselves at the entrances to the grounds. And, like, why wouldn't Dumbledore be happy with them? That they're there because they're there to protect Harry. And you find out he is not fond of the guards, and neither is Mr. Weasley. And he says, you sometimes have to join forces with those you'd rather avoid. And he promises Molly that he won't say anything against them, though, if they do indeed save Harry.
That quote, like, comes into play in 7 during the final battle. Like, all those different creatures and beings come together, which they usually will avoid and keep on their own.
For the greater good.
But you have to join forces in that end part. So.
to
Yeah.
overtake
Like all the
evil.
Acromantula, the centaurs, giants are not on their side.
Specifically,
but, you
like
know.
the centaurs, because they want to stay out of everything.
Yeah.
But they're
Yeah.
going to, like, they
I have
realize.
beef with the centaurs.
yeah.
I have some major beef.
Yeah,
with
like,
centaurs.
this
Except for
is going to
friends.
affect everybody. Like, it's going to affect
And they know
everybody.
they know exactly what's about to happen, and they waited so long. Granted, everything happens for a reason, but still.
So they head up to bed, and Harry hides from them, basically, so he's not caught eavesdropping. So he goes to look for the tonic at the bar. He finds it, and then he waits till he hears them close their bedroom door and heads back upstairs. So he meets the twins on his way back up there, and they are the ones that have Percy's badge, which now says Big Head Boy instead of Head Boy.
Why wouldn't Percy know that? That's so Fred and George. Why would you blame Ron? Like, I would go to Fred and George first.
Maybe he was just so
Percy's
blinded
a
by, like,
jerk.
rage that his badge was gone. Blinded by the rage.
That's such a big head thing to do.
So he gives the tonic to Ron, and then he kind of heads back to bed in more of a somber mood to contemplate what he has just learned. So knows that Sirius Black is after him, and it's like it makes just so much sense now that Fudge had seemed to be worried about him and had been waiting for him, and it didn't want him gallivanting around to the Muggle London or staying out late in Diagon Alley, and that they're sending cars to take him and all of the Weasleys to the station the next day, making sure there has been and will be people around him kind of at all times. Someone always is watching him. Because even when he gets the ice cream, maybe that's why he keeps on giving him every 30 minutes to make sure, like, he's safe.
Could be, and it makes
fattening
me
him up.
think of that song. I always feel like somebody's watching me.
So he goes over like what he's learned so far, and he's wondering like why he isn't more scared. Because we know so far that Sirius had murdered 30.
Well, that's not
See, I'm just going to start my own paper. I'm going to write my little lies. Sirius
Yeah.
Black murdered 30
What are you
people.
gonna name your paper?
You're
The
new,
Florence Chronicles.
You're the new
see.
Rita Skeeter.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Florence should totally write
Florence.
for the prophet.
What would be a good name for it, though?
Like her column.
Florence Fortunes. She's going to tell you how it is.
I going back to what you,
You
said
should
about
write those on our blog.
holy cow, yes.
But it should be like lies. Like, it's all going to
Yeah,
be worse
it'll be
than
satire.
Rita Skeeter. But it would be like,
Satire.
yeah.
Oh my
Great.
gosh.
Great.
Oh, that got me excited. But going back to what you said about Fortescue, right? Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
I guarantee that he was paid to keep checking
Well,
in on him.
and even later on, because I know we've had discussions about, like, why would Hermione's parents let her stay at school? I bet you specifically this year when I was reading, I'm like, I guarantee you that Dumbledore or McGonagall were like, we need you guys to stay here. Like, not that they don't trust Harry, but they're like, we need people around him. Specifically, like, not...
Slow him down.
I would say more so Hermione than Ron, but they would
Right.
probably ask him too.
Yeah.
But Hermione's more level-headed, and clearly she's like,
Yeah.
I'm going to tell on you.
Do you think Mrs. Fig also was paid to keep an eye out? Or do you
I
think
don't
that she
know.
was like, I love Harry Potter? Because we know she loves Harry. I mean,
love Harry
she
I love Harry Potter.
I don't know.
I don't know. Could be.
But I feel like Fudge would maybe not so much pay off Fig, and I think Fig would do probably any kind of favor for Dumbledore because she really,
Yeah.
likes him. But I feel like Fudge probably
Yeah.
paid him. But I also think that he really liked Harry too, because most
Oh,
of
for
the
sure.
adults in the Wizarding
Fudge?
World,
No, Fortescue.
Fortescue.
Oh,
I feel
yeah.
like they like Harry. He's
Yeah.
he's an easy boy to like.
Yeah.
He is.
He's not a troublemaker at this moment in time in Diagon Alley.
He's
I
a
only like,
reaction troublemaker.
Right.
Yeah. I only like Ravenclaws.
Yeah, well, I understand.
All right, so Sirius, so he's like being like, why am I not scared? Because, Sirius had murdered 13 people. And he knows that the Weasleys are worried for him, and they're worried what will happen if he finds out about Black. Kind of, again, because he's like, they're reckless. Hello, Fuzz.
Black.
Fuzzy is coming. He's like, why aren't you petting me?
And Harry does agree that the safest place for him is at Hogwarts, specifically with Dumbledore. And he's wondering more about like the Azkaban guards. And I'm like, oh, it's so interesting because in my mind I know they're Dementors, so I always call them Dementors. That they have not once in this chapter called them that.
Do you
They've
think they're
always called them Azkaban guards.
Afraid of saying it, kind of not to the level of Voldemort, but
Could
it just
be.
freaks them out so much.
I always took it as just like because the next chapter we find out like we meet a Dementor, so I think it's kind of just like saving it.
Let's keep an eye out for what they call them after that. The
if
adults.
they
they
start
do.
saying Dementors instead of guards.
Let's see what the adults
Yeah.
say.
There's so much to say. I won't go into much detail because we're probably going to, in the next chapter, go more into detail with the Dementors.
Yeah.
But they do have a bunch of information on Les Pottermore.
I thought it was interesting too how like it says that Fudge had a conversation with the Azkaban guards. Like I didn't really
I
realize
think it's
that
Yeah.
you could.
one-sided.
Like,
I think they
no, but,
might
like-
like nod.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know though, like
I don't think
because
they
it
speak.
sounds like
I mean, they
the
do
more I
have a
read about it
mouth,
now
right?
as an adult, I'm like, God, I wonder if they're more
souls.
like maybe meant a few words kind of thing. Like they do talk, but like not a lot
Yeah.
because they seem like
They make
reading
rattling.
It,
I know they can make
but like
sounds, so maybe.
it makes it seem like they're more human than I thought they were when I was a child.
What are they
Yeah.
classified as?
I don't know. But this is what the fact file says. They're shaped like humans, covered in dark hooded cloaks. Their skin resembles that of a gray, rotting body. Their magical abilities, though they are blind, they can sense and feed on positive feelings, draining their victims' happiness. Their typical habitats, Azkaban. Azkaban is could be like
Shut up. It's
Um,
literally going to be called Azkaban forever.
For life.
Yeah, make one mistake.
but we'll go more into those in the next one because it's actually called the Dementor. So, lost my place.
All right, yeah.
And it says they seem to scare more people senseless and if they were stationed around the school, Blackwood probably won't be able to get in. And I think it actually says probably won't be able to get back in, which is interesting because
that she doesn't say he won't be able
Yeah.
to.
It says Black's chances of getting inside seemed very remote. So there's a chance. So
you're telling me there's a chance.
So there's one loophole. It's called being an animagus.
Hey.
That's how it happens.
And so what bothers Harry the most is the fact that the likelihood of him going to Hogsmeade is basically zero. Especially because he didn't get the permission slip signed by no one. And he's like he knows that he's safer inside Hogwarts than anywhere else. And he knows that like clearly this guy's after me. He's murdered people. Like they're not going to let me out. And did they think he couldn't look after himself? He'd escaped Lord Voldemort 3 times. He wasn't completely useless. And so then he's like, whatever, I'm going to bed. And so the last thing he says out loud before falling asleep is, I'm not going to be murdered. And his mirror responds sleepily, That's the spirit, dear.
I love that.
What a
Yeah.
positive
I
mirror.
want that mirror. I
I
feel like
love
it's the mirror that it reminds me of the wardrobe in Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it's the mirror version in Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Speaking of speaking mirrors, if anybody goes to the Wizarding World in Orlando,
Oh yeah.
they do have a speaking mirror in Madame Malkin's. It's pretty funny.
I
It's
think
cute.
it complimented me.
It did.
It says some sassy stuff though.
It does, yeah.
Your shirt and scruffy.
Yeah.
I've been thinking of this and I don't want to forget it. What do you think the rat tonic does to Wormtail because it's actually a human?
I bet you it does nothing.
Nothing.
I don't think it does anything for the rats.
I
Maybe
wonder if
he
he's
doesn't
like-
really take it.
I feel like it's kind of like a Sudafed or something.
Yeah, because he does like sleep a lot.
I think he's just
Did
lazy.
you mean to
Like
say a
Benadryl?
Sudafed or did you mean to say a placebo?
No, like a Sudafed. Like it's
Like
just
to
like a
sleep?
cold medicine or something.
I would think that like it's one of those gimmicky things that's like sugar water. Here, buy this rat tonic.
Emergency.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was just wondering, like, because he's in rat form, but he's really a human. Like, what does it do to him?
I bet you it doesn't do anything to rats either. Is what
I
I'm
wonder
saying.
if he like fights it. If he's like, no, I don't want it.
I don't want it.
I should be like, well, come here. I'm going to poison you. That's what I would say.
That escalated.
Well,
Well, I did write down in my notes. It says that Fudge says there's 3 weeks left, but then later says there's 2. Just like
Dear Joe.
Sad tweet. What if you could request some ice creams? What flavors of sundaes?
Oh, I'm weird with my sundaes. I just like vanilla and hot fudge.
So it's just a hot fudge sundae
Correct. With Spanish peanuts on the side and Mally's hot fudge.
on the side. Why
I
not in?
like to eat them all separately. I like to, I specifically when I'm eating Mally's.
Okay.
And I
Now
get
I
cookie
want
dough ice
some.
cream.
can we get honey hot before we go home?
Maybe.
We need to eat chips
Oh, yeah.
or crisps.
Crisps. What would you get?
Now, is this based on the flavors I already know exist or just anything?
Anything.
Probably some sort of peanut butter sundae.
Ugh.
Or hot
I just
fudge,
am not
because
a
that's
fan of it.
classic.
But she said I can only get a sundae.
Classic!
The clotted cream ice cream at Florian
So
Fortescue's at Diagon Alley is pretty delish.
It's horrible.
It's so good. I
almost
You're
hate
crazy. So if I had to pick something besides clotted cream, because Katie is giving me crap about it, then
If
I guess I
Dementors
would
had
say
a flavor, it'd be clotted cream.
Oh my gosh,
That would have been a good
so
Felix
overdramatic.
question. But that's our next question. What you think a Dementor would taste like?
And there's your episode title. What does the
Sticky
Dementor taste
toffee
like?
pudding ice cream.
Okay, you got some weird flavors.
Well,
going
because
on.
I know those are the ones at Florian
Not Earl
Fortescue's.
Grey.
The Earl Grey and lavender is good too.
Ugh, sounds like you're eating a flower.
Tea with lavender.
No.
Tea.
Tiffany.
I would like 2 scoops vanilla, 1 scoop chocolate, hot fudge, whipped cream, cherry, and salted peanuts.
Well, duh.
I
Peanuts have to be
love
salted.
how
But-
specific.
But the whipped cream can't just be any old whipped cream. It's got to be Honey
Homemade.
Hut. Honey Hut's is like eating a delicious cloud.
That's so funny. Meg doesn't like the honey nut whipped cream.
I have to
Megan
try
likes
it again.
clotted cream and eating Dementors.
That's fair.
I have to try it again because it used to taste like Starbucks old whipped cream, and I really hated it. It was like over whipped cream, so it would like hit that waxy feeling in your mouth.
I don't agree.
But I'm gonna have to give Honey Hut's whipped cream a try again. Maybe it's different now.
Whip that cream back and forth. Whip
Okay.
that cream back and forth.
For anybody who doesn't know, Honey Hut is a local ice cream shopping.
So is
It's
Mally's.
amazing.
Well, Mally's, they don't make their own ice cream, but they do. It's like a chocolate place, and they have hot fudge.
And for anybody who is coming to Kent for the Wizardly World of Kent, I would highly recommend
Taking
going
a
to Honey
long
Hut.
drive to go to Honey Hut.
Well,
Yeah.
you're already driving to
You would
Kent.
like to
may as
drive another, I don't know how long.
well. 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Let's get a Swish bus and we'll all load in. and
A
get
triple
some honey
decker
hut.
purple bus with gold letters.
You should contact them and see if they'd want to drive out and have like a thing at the Wizarding Fest.
I have some connections.
Can we
I
like
think
call
my
them and be
connections
like,
are a little stronger than yours.
we just did an ad for you on our podcast. So can I get some free ice cream?
They have butter pecan. If you don't know, is a popular ice cream choice, which is I love a good butter pecan.
Honey pecan.
I was going to say that.
Oh, okay. I was correcting
because they're
you.
Honey Hut.
It's called honey pecan.
Yes, since it's Honey Hut, they have honey pecan.
Everything
ice
there is
cream.
sweetened with honey.
It's very good.
So
good.
delish.
We need honey.
I need
Also,
it.
random, a 5-course meal starts with soup, followed by an appetizer, salad, main course, then dessert.
Oh, okay. So it's soup.
We needed to know.
And then I want to know what flavor your Dementor would taste like, but it has to taste like a food that someone else would like. She likes clotted cream, you hate it. Something like that, you know what I mean?
So
It can't
do
just
I
be like
get to
rotten
choose
garbage because who
Megan's
likes rotten
flavor?
garbage?
Seafood.
No, it can
Oh.
be anything, but like something that like someone might not like. Like I
Corn
love
dogs,
sushi, you guys might hate
seafood.
it.
Okay.
Corn
kind of thing.
dogs.
Any-
We talked about
anything.
this yesterday. I could pound down some corn dogs right now.
Anything that lives in the ocean or lake or river.
I bet they taste like old shoes.
What, corn dogs or?
Oh, I know.
Animal.
Both oysters.
Ooh.
I never really had an oyster.
I can't stand them.
Blah.
Is
Marty
it true
loves
that sometimes you get sand in them?
Oh yeah.
Those, yeah,
It's
I used to eat clams and. Blah.
clams.
Yeah, they have
You said
sand in
happy
them.
as a clam in this episode.
I did. I don't know what mine would taste like. What's something that like I don't like that there's not
Peanut butter.
clearly,
corn dogs.
but like I would eat it. Like there's sometimes I eat peanut butter. Like sometimes I like a good Reese cup. Once a year, and I'm not exaggerating when I say that I crave a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
What's that thing?
Once a year.
What's that thing that you threw up that you won't eat anymore?
Oh yeah,
There's
chicken
several.
Alfredo.
Chicken Alfredo.
Chicken Alfredo.
I'll eat Alfredo now. I can eat it
okay.
now. I can't eat a gyro, but I still really like it.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember.
You
that
could say
story.
Oreos for me since mine were covered in ants.
No,
But like, clearly, if anyone knows what I look like, I like to eat. There's most foods that like, I'm not one of those people like. I won't eat that. Like I'll eat.
You'll
almost
try
anything.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm not a big fan of asparagus, but I eat it if someone.
She ate a
cooked it.
soft shell crab sandwich today.
It was actually quite delicious.
I was very
Ugh.
proud of you
But-
for eating that.
Sounds nasty.
Because Marty was like, "Yeah, it looks really, really weird."
But
did
I
you
also
take
eat,
a
like-
look at it?
No, I just
Okay.
ate it because I also.
I'm
eat,
pretty
like,
sure he was like,
When I first started eating sushi, my friend would get the spider roll, which is crab, and so it looks kind of like a spider coming out with its tentacles. So good. I don't really eat that anymore because I prefer
spiders have
other rolls.
tentacles.
well,
No, but like it looks like a spider kind of with its little 'cause
Legs.
it's fried. I don't know.
I could go for some sushi, but I
I
can't.
had some the other day. It wasn't as good as I wanted it to be, but it
Anyway,
wasn't my usual place.
Sushi is disgusting.
Oh my gosh, it's
You're
so
missing
good.
out, dude.
Spicy tuna is my life.
Wow.
I don't know what my
I like
flavor
some
would be.
eel though.
I love
me some eel.
Eel is my favorite. An eel.
Frog legs.
eat
I would
frog
try
legs.
them.
They're good.
But I've never eaten them.
I'm also the person I eat a lot. I
chicken.
think I'm the one that's eaten the most weird foods here.
Yeah, you try a lot of things.
I think I definitely have eaten the most weird foods here.
Yeah, what?
Wow.
Lettuce?
Yeah, that's what her Dementor would taste like.
Yeah, that's true. That would definitely, lettuce.
Do you think if you get a Dementor's kiss, their breath smells like whatever you hate most?
Ooh.
I think it smells like death. I don't know what that smells
I
like, but
literally
I
just
hear
got
it has
chills.
a smell.
Oh, it does. Yeah.
And I think
No.
that's what their breath smells like.
if you've worked in a hospital or if you've been around, yeah. You can also smell like when something's not infected, but like
Yeah.
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 You can definitely
My
smell
sister has told me some stuff.
Ugh.
Let's
Well, that was a
end on
great
nice
conversation.
note, or do you have more?
Question.
Do you have more? Oh, what's that one?
This is what I'm gonna ask.
Okay.
So I was looking at my notes that I forgot I had written down, and I said, "Do you think that if Marge had blown up, but like later in the books, like how would that have gone down? Like Harry would have gotten expelled for sure. Like think about it, like
in
after,
later
yeah,
books. Yeah. It would have been the Dementor
Like-
situation all over again.
crazy, yeah."
Yeah,
That's basically what I
agreed.
said.
I agree.
And then I'm like, if you're a Muggle born and you're expelled from Hogwarts, what happens? Like, do you get like, because you don't always get your wand taken from you. Like, was the reason Hagrid got his wand taken from him because he killed someone, but he didn't? He got blamed for it.
Like, how hard is it to get expelled?
I don't know.
No, okay, hold on. Here's the thing. Didn't it, in the 5th one, it says in the book that they had to, like, contact the ministry so that they wouldn't come and take his wand. Because they were, like, going to.
Do not surrender your wand.
Yeah.
That's what it said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. But, like, how
So,
hard...
like, they
but I'm
were
thinking,
going to
like-
take Harry's wand for the Dementor thing.
Because I'm thinking, like, don't we know that Newt was
Yeah, but I don't...
expelled?
But we don't know why, right?
But
Not yet.
I'm saying, like,
but Dumbledore, like,
I understand...
worked some magic with that.
No pun intended.
Well, yeah, he worked magic with Hagrid as well. You know what I mean? Like, I can understand in that point in time with Hagrid being accused of killing someone, getting your wand taken away from you and being broken. He gets it back. But, like, with Harry and in other situations...
Yeah. Think about the difference, though, between Newt's expulsion versus Hagrid's expulsion.
No, for sure.
Newt is fully immersed in the wizarding world, and Hagrid is not fully immersed because he doesn't have his wand, and it's straight up headcanon. It's just because he's half giant.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I agree with that to an extent that,
But he
yeah,
was
I think he is
innocent, you know?
prejudiced. Yes, but they didn't know.
But they know it now.
Yes, now, 50 years later, but then he's a half giant and someone died. I don't know what happened with Newt to be expelled.
It's got to be serious.
I think that there was definitely prejudice going on with Hagrid.
Oh, for sure.
but I
just don't think that's all of it.
I also do say, I mean, like, Harry's wand was going to get taken away for the Dementor attack.
What say you?
Pious.
Interesting.
Okay.
I have other notes, but I don't know if any of them make a question.
Make a question.
I have, like, things about a gun. I don't know.
Oh, because
with what they were telling
they said that
Sirius had?
Sirius had a gun.
Which,
Sort of
honestly,
metal
if you
object.
think about
Oh, do you-
being damaging, that's the closest comparison, in my opinion.
Do we know if they, like, obliviate the former prime ministers after they, like, leave office to be like, haha, you don't know that wizards exist anymore?
I think it would be a good idea, but I don't know
Yeah.
if they do. Because they keep the secret for so long, you know?
How long is a prime minister's run, I wonder? I don't think it's like a president, which 4 years. I think
I
it's
think
different.
for sure in America they would obliviate the president because they're less trustworthy of muggles in America.
Do you think that they know? Do you think that they do the same thing?
I bet
Yeah.
you they are
Maybe
not
they don't
connected
know
at all.
Maybe you're right.
in America.
Good point.
Like the minister.
5 years.
Okay.
Like the minister versus the president. I don't think they know each other.
I bet you, though, that, like I bet you they have, like, people, like, maybe Secret Service people that are wizards to be, like,
Oh,
be
yeah.
around them. Like, would they have, like, one wizard that's, like, top dude?
Like a Kingsley.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's around the president that, like, is maybe one of his main advisors or something like that. So, like, they're always aware.
Yeah.
The president doesn't know.
Yeah.
President doesn't know.
And I'm spying on him for the wizarding people of America. You're welcome.
That was really good.
We should do a Scamander story about that.
Oh, yeah, we good.
Just
Write it down.
Do we have any more questions?
I don't think so.
Okay. Let's,
Let me look at my notes. I have a lot. Oh, you know what I do want to know? This is going back to the other chapter. Because they say in the book that when Aunt Marge comes to stay, she stays in this, like, the extra bedroom. So you're telling me
Yeah.
that there were 3 bedrooms upstairs.
Okay.
Plus the master of Vernon and Petunia's bedroom. So they have their room.
master
Dudley has a
bedroom,
room.
Dudley.
His second bedroom, and then there's an extra room.
Yeah.
So you had 2 empty bedrooms, and he still had to sleep under the stairs.
Yep. She pretended to throw her book.
Ridiculous.
Terrible.
It's terrible
Terrible. Just things.
to think about.
They
Yeah.
are
I also have
literally
notes for the
the
next
worst
chapter,
type of
which are
people
awesome.
ever.
Yeah.
I mean,
They're
as
the
it
worst
goes
sort
on,
of muggles imaginable.
like, but really, as this goes on, like, they do the same kind of crap
Yep.
in every book, and every book you're like, ugh.
Yeah.
Especially in the end, at least Dudley goes in for a handshake. Petunia's such a.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Do you think that he would have been able to get his permission slip signed if Black wasn't roaming around? Like, do you think they would have let, like, say Black was not,
Yes.
this isn't happening.
Yes.
Do you think,
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, the minister probably wouldn't even be there.
Potter effect is why I think that.
McGonagall would have let him.
I bet
somebody
you
would
would have.
Somebody would have.
I wonder why he didn't think of like having the Weasley sign it.
I think under the circumstances, they would have all been like, no.
No, but like even say
no Black.
yeah. So Black's still
I think
in prison.
a Weasley signing it would have been cool.
I think they would have. I don't think the minister would have gone to. I almost said Leaky Con. The Leaky Cauldron.
Yeah.
He would not have met him there.
No.
Do you think Tom would have given him a room,
Yeah.
Yeah.
even if the minister wasn't there?
Potter effect.
Yeah.
Potter effect.
People love to
Who
love
paid
Harry.
for it? Did Fudge?
I bet
Did the
Harry.
ministry?
I bet Harry
Probably.
did.
Every time we say fudge, I think of in the Jim Carrey version of The Grinch where they're like, fudge, judge. He used to eat all that fudge. No? No one? Okay. Someone will know what I'm talking about. Shall we move on?
Fan story.
Do it to it.
Shout out to this person because they actually phonetically spelled how to say their name, and I super appreciate it.
Shout out to you.
So this comes from Liam Byers. Thank you. What?
The way you said Liam.
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 Sorry, my voice did its own thing.
Oh, look who he says hello to.
Hello, Megan, Tiffany, Katie, Sarah, and Florence.
Can you please try to do it in Florence's voice?
Try it.
Florence.
That was amazing.
Florence.
That's a shy Florence.
Florence has many Florence friends. They're not as good as the original.
That's true.
I'm just little Flo. I admit I am one of those people who, upon first reading the Harry Potter books, did not enjoy them. I first tried reading The Philosopher's Stone when I was about 12. I had read the Lord of the Rings trilogy shortly beforehand, and I wanted another good fantasy series to read.
What's Lord of the Rings?
Heard of it.
Yeah, I don't know what that book is.
I read about 2/3 of the book before giving up. For some weird reason, I just did not find it interesting. For years, I thought that the books were really overrated, and not having knowledge of the books, I really couldn't get into the movies either, as I found many plot lines confusing without book knowledge. Yeah, I can see that. Mm-hmm. It wasn't until last year, as a 20-year-old adult, that I gave the books another try, as I had more friends that had enjoyed the books a lot and spoke of them highly. This time around, I ended up really enjoying the books. But even more so, I have grown to really love the world that Rowling has created, the depth and believability of the wizarding world, its creatures, and its people. I think an important lesson that I have gleaned from these books is to always be prepared to give something a second chance. Just because you might not enjoy a particular book, film, food, game, etc. the first time around, with another look, your perspective may change.
I agree with all of that except food.
I knew you were
I was almost like, lettuce.
I always try food more than once in case I like it better.
Never.
I am a proud member of Gryffindor. My Patronus is a hedgehog.
Cute.
And my wand is poplar wood with unicorn hair, 14 inches, and quite bendy flexibility. I'm a big fan of the podcast. Been listening since about episode 5. You guys are awesome, and I love listening when I have to do long drives to visit my family. Keep up the great work, and don't let the muggles get you down.
Thank you.
Thanks, Liam.
Thank you. Liam!
Liam.
So this might seem like a really dumb question, and like I've not been on a Potter podcast for almost a year. But when it says bendy flexibility, I imagine you can actually bend it like in half. Is that true, or is it just kind of?
Maybe it's like when you wiggle a pencil.
I think it means the personality of the
Yeah.
wand.
Like you're flexible.
Like I feel like those old pencils or pens that would like literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I envision.
Because I feel like some of the
'Cause normally-
characters' wands that are like explained as like rigid or something like that, like they're not going to change. Like
Yeah.
what's Bellatrix?
I think it's rigid.
Unyielding.
It's unyielding. That's right.
Unyielding.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dang, Katie. Pulling
I
it out
just
with
wrote-
a voice and
yeah.
a
Oh, mine is hard flexibility. I'm 12 1/4.
So what does that mean? Is that
Hard.
Yeah, hard flexibility.
I
It's
think that I'm
hard
very
to get
stubborn,
you to
probably.
be flexible.
It would take a lot to change it.
Okay.
I would agree with that though. Like it takes a lot to change my mind. You know.
I gotta see what mine says. Reasonably supple flexibility.
I'm a pushover.
No. Well, I hope that means I'm like open to
Probably.
changing my mind.
I could see that.
You know, I like to get information and
Information.
details and facts.
The pool of details.
Give me the facts. So thanks for your fan story.
Thank you.
I'm gonna plug first. I am on an all video games podcast called Box Trick. I'm on the Nintendo portion talking about Pokemon, Zelda, E3's coming up. It would already have passed by the time that you hear this episode, so
Hope you listened.
we'll have already talked about it. I'm also on an all Star Wars podcast called Rebel Watch and
Rebel Watch. They talk about Star Wars.
and stuff. I'm watching the movies with Ezra and getting deep and sweaty. And that's it.
Meg, what do you got going on?
Well, Katie and I have this cool podcast called Grown Up Kids where we talk about Disney.
What's Disney?
We're watching all of the Disney films in chronological order, all the way from Snow White to Moana.
Coco.
Coco.
Coco came after?
Yep.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And even live actions like Black Panther now because Marvel's Disney. And Solo, that's
yeah.
Disney.
Are you going to do all the Star Wars movies?
Not all of them, just the ones
Just
that came
the
out
one?
under the Disney name.
Okay.
So,
Aren't they all owned by Disney now, though?
Yeah.
yeah, but when they released, they weren't Disney. So it's not the same thing.
Okay. I guess I could just watch it now if I wanted to.
So yeah, all of the movies, live action, animated, all the good stuff. So we're approximately still in the 50s right now.
Is your house barren? Do you need some decorations?
Yeah, I do.
Should probably head on over to Etsy and check out Akio Designs.
You should. There's so many cool posters there. Our favorite is Don't Intoxicate and Apparate. Perfect for your kitchen.
Are you a Gryffindor? Are you a Slytherin? Hufflepuff
You
or
can let
Ravenclaw?
it be known
I'm-
on your door.
I'm House Stark.
Oh,
You can also
I don't have one of those.
You can also even rep your Ilvermorny houses.
Yeah.
in the dark. I want that on a poster. I don't know what that means. Stop looking at me.
That's-
But go ahead and check it out if you want some cool poster designs. Sarah,
All right.
what's Harriet
Usually say
doing?
things.
I'm the cool kid that has so much going on in her life.
What are you
it's
doing
just
now?
crazy.
Tell us.
Well, I'm going to be becoming an aunt. I might already be an aunt at this point.
That's
Who
true.
knows? I might have a little human that never gets to see its mom because I am a baby hog, and I'm really excited about it. And that's really hard work for me to help someone else grow a human. Constantly at her beck and call when she wants to have Chipotle, chips and salsa, bringing her coffee, helping her do all of her classroom things.
Washing the dog.
Yeah.
The dog.
What
Hey,
else?
this is for Ezra. Utter dogs.
And I'm working on a book all about my life and all the adventures that I haven't had.
What's it called? Florence Not Abroad.
Florence Flounders.
Look out for Florence's new side project coming to swishflickcast.com on our blog.
Oh,
We're gonna find a wonderful name for it. We don't have one yet, but it's Florence.
I do enjoy
Florence,
alliteration, so.
Yeah, it needs
Yeah.
to be an alliteration with all F's.
Yep.
So Florence.
I don't know.
We'll
Something.
think about it.
Well,
Florence.
TBD, guys.
Flaunt. Friends.
You're just gonna write crap about all the people you know.
Florence
Tiffany,
and
she's
Friends.
horrible.
Yeah. She is.
I like
What?
that.
I don't know.
Florence and Friends.
I don't know if I like Florence and Friends.
I don't know if she has friends. She seems like a lone
She's got
wolf.
Bud.
Good.
Bud is her lover.
She does have a sister.
Secret lovers. That's what they are. Yeah. Florence and Harriet.
Just keep your eyes peeled. We'll see.
We're gonna have some fun things
Wait,
coming
who's
up.
Harriet?
Her sister.
You were there.
Come on.
Harriet talks like this. She wants Mike Wazowski to file his paperwork.
Working with Ross too long.
Oh, man.
All right. So that was weird. So we're going to stop.
I need to start getting like something for each episode.
You got to get a little Word doc going on and keep it private so we never know what's happening. All right. So that concludes this week's episode. Thank you so much for listening, and don't let the muggles get you down.
Amazing! Just my voice!
Angry voices.
Loud noises.